It says Jim Schmidt on StreamYard. Can you say something so I can test if I can hear you?
Broadcasting live statewide from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay. This is Nite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now a guy who washes his hands even after using a towel, Pete Schwaba.
That's me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Nite. Great to have you with me on this gloomy Wednesday evening. Welcome, wherever you're joining us from in the state. It's great to have you. We've got a great show planned for you guys tonight. Hope you had an outstanding day. I did, even though it was very gloomy. We've got a really fun show. We've got great guests tonight, a good question that should get you guys riled up. We're going to read Steady Eddie's text at some point from last night that we ran out of time for. We've got some big breaking news in show business. Val Kilmer passed away. We'll talk about that a little bit. Conrad, as usual, is riding shotgun. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing very well. I'm looking at the stream here, and it says I'm Jim Schmidt. Do I look like Jim Schmidt? Am I acting like Jim Schmidt?
No, the Jim Schmidt is not live. That's just the other studio, because I didn't know if you were coming in or not. So that's
okay. I just feel like I might morph into Jim Schmidt at some point, and it'll be your fault, buddy. I'm just telling you that right now.
It says Pete Schwaba. All right.
Okay.
You're not Jim today.
Jim's a good guy. Yeah, I could do a lot worse than being Jim Schmidt for a night. Did you have a good day?
I did. Yeah. It was. I mean, it kind of sucked that it snowed last night. But
it was ugly.
I'm just hoping for some good weather. No, that's all I'm hoping for.
So you're not asking for too much.
Exactly.
So we've got a really cool thing happening here at Civic Media, folks. It's our Break into Spring Text to Win statewide contest. It is your daily chance to win a Chula Vista Getaway, Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, or $100 in cash. Plus, every entry puts you into our grand prize drawing of a brand new queen mattress set from Verlo that includes a mattress, sheet set, mattress protector, and pillows. The times for text to win are 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. So all you have to do is have the Civic Media app. Download the app to play if you haven't already done so. Listen at those times, wait for the word, and text in the word, and you are entered for the daily prize or the grand prize. It's just that easy, folks. So check it out. It's a very popular contest here at Civic Media. We love doing these text to win contests, and we wish you luck. Good luck in the daily and in the grand prize drawings. It should be fun. We've got great guests tonight. I'm very excited because tonight we've got a frontman for Local H, a band based out of Chicago. He also made a documentary called Lifers that will be playing at the Wisconsin Film Festival. His name is Scott Lucas, and he will be joining us at 6:35 tonight. Scott's a very interesting guy, very successful guy. And then our buddy Frank Anderson will join us at 7:20. Frank and I will talk a little bit about Val Kilmer. We will also bond even further over our dislike of lawns. Did you hear what I said, Conrad? Lawns.
What? You just don't like having
to
maintain
grass?
It? Or?
No, I have no interest.
When I lived with my brother last year, the trade-off was, I didn't have to pay rent, so that was cool. But the trade-off was mowing his lawn.
That's brutal.
On a hot day, he'd be like, I don't care, man. Get out there.
Dude, I would rather pay rent. I cut so many lawns when I was a kid. I just don't, I'm not that guy. Like my wife will say, hey, maybe this weekend we can find some time to work in the yard. I'm like, finding time won't be the issue. It's just that I want nothing to do with yard work. I just don't like we keep up our lawn, we cut it, we make it look nice, but I see the effort people put into their yards and it is insane. And good for them, because it's great when you take care of something, or if you have a green thumb and it looks great. I'm kind of envious of those people because I am not that guy. So Frank and I will talk about that. We'll talk about Val Kilmer, maybe dip our toe into a couple stories that I've seen on Wisconsinology. Such a great website, wisconsinology.com. He has everything on there, folks, from the weird to the historic, all things fun Wisconsin at wisconsinology.com. So check it out. Frank will be here at 7:20. Conrad, I think I need to read. All right. Every once in a while, folks, we run out of time. We're having so much fun with a guest, and time just gets away from us, as was the case last night with Civic Media Zone and our friend Luke Mathers, who has had a lot of fun taking our quizzes that we give him. And Luke was here last night. We got carried away. We tried to get as many questions in as we could, and I just completely spaced out. And we had a text from Steady Eddie that I did not get to. So I would like to read that now to my friend Steadfast Edward, instead of closing the show with one of his texts, which is always a little dangerous, right, Con? Because we could run out of time, you know?
Yeah.
But we're going to open things with a Steady Eddie text. He says last night, the question was, who is your favorite fictional political character? And Steady Eddie said, my favorite fictional political character, that's when I don't want to go political. He says, Tronald J. Dump, as played by Craig T. Nelson in Stable Genius, not to be confused with our actual president, apparently. He says, note, this TV series is being filmed as we speak. It is totally fictional. Watch for it on Netflix. Steady Eddie. Now, we probably could have fit that text in last night. That was not that long. Steady Eddie has been known to write some lengthy texts, and they're very amusing. But last night's was pretty short. We probably could have fit that in. Lots going on. Val Kilmer passed away, and this guy truly was one of my favorite actors. He made so many great films. He's known, I think, he played Batman in the 90s. I think he's more well known for his work in just like 3 movies: Real Genius, Top Secret, and Tombstone. He's great in everything. He was the youngest person ever accepted into Juilliard, which is quite an accomplishment. He was 17. Like, that's how talented he was. And he had a wide array. He played different characters in different genre films and crushed comedy, crushed drama. He was also in Heat, the heist film with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. He passed away at 65 yesterday from complications from pneumonia. But he also had throat cancer in 2015. But that's a loss. He also is well known for playing Jim Morrison in The Doors. He was in a film called Willow, where he met his wife. I think they weren't married yet. I think that's where they met. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. Great in that movie. He's got like 120 credits, and he was truly a fantastic actor, and it is a loss. And he was 65 when he passed away, but he had cancer 10 years ago, which basically ended his career. And he was only like in his mid 50s at the time, so he could have done a lot more work, because it's a loss. He was a great talent. I know at times people thought he could be hard to work with because he was kind of a perfectionist and he was a moody actor and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, he just did such phenomenal work. He was in both Top Guns. He also could have some fun, and he was in one of the Jay and Silent Bob movies. Just a real talent, and that is a loss. So we have a clip from Tombstone. It's the famous clip from Tombstone. If you've seen the film Tombstone, you'll recognize the clip. The keyword is Huckleberry, and it is a phenomenal clip. We'll play that after the break. But right now, Conrad, I think it's time. It's National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day.
It is. It's a great day.
You like peanut butter and jelly. You're a fan.
Yes, I love peanut butter and jellies. Those are some good sandwich.
Absolutely. Did you ever do the double decker? Like 3 pieces of bread and peanut butter and jelly in between each?
I mean, I probably did when I was younger. I just think that's too much now, probably for myself. But
I just gave you something to do after the show.
Yeah,
throw a couple Doritos on there. Yeah, come on, man. So in honor of National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, folks, we go to our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
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 Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
What is your favorite sandwich? Probably thought it was going to be PB&J related, and it can be if that's your favorite sandwich, but we broadened it a little bit today. And tonight's question is, what is your favorite sandwich? This question, we always do well with food questions, but this question was actually fun to think about. Like, I've been trying to think of all the sandwiches I've had over the course of my life. And honestly, there were times in college where it was just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I remember my roommate Paul and I one day, I don't know if we were playing hoops or whatever, we came home and we knocked off an entire jar of peanut butter. It was not like the Costco size, it was smaller, but we probably ate 7 or 8 peanut butter sandwiches each.
Wow.
It was insanity. It was maniacal. It was a drubbing. So there have been times peanut butter and jelly probably was my favorite sandwich. I would say, and I think I've said this before, we've dabbled in the sandwich genre at times on the show. I'm going to say a Chicago Italian beef sandwich dunked in the juice completely. So the bread is soaked. Italian beef on ganella bread, the French bread, completely dunked with giardiniera or sweet peppers on the meat. That's my favorite. And a close second is, I don't know if you guys remember this sub shop. I think there was some in Milwaukee, there was some in Chicago, but it was called Submarine. And they made these phenomenal subs with great bread, and they packed lettuce on it. And they used like celery salt and the oil and vinegar. I don't even know if those still exist, but that was a great sandwich too. But I would say overall, it's probably the Chicago Italian beef sandwich. Conrad, your thoughts?
Oof, this is tough. I'm gonna go with a Philly cheesesteak.
Philly cheese? You know what? I think we've talked about this on this show before too. The Philly cheesesteak gets more publicity than the Chicago beef sandwich, but it doesn't even come close. Probably because it's on a coast. And the Philly cheesesteak is good, but you know, a traditional Philly cheesesteak has like cheese whiz on it. You okay with that?
Well, I'm not gonna go with the cheese whiz, but I love a good.
So an altered Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, I love a good sandwich with peppers. That steak, definitely for sure. I love steak, and that great cheese melted across it. You know,
you can't go. I mean, look, they're both great sandwiches. Let's all be friends. There are no right or wrong answers, folks. Just your answers. What is your favorite sandwich? That is our question of the night. 855-752-4842, 855-75 Civic. Join the fun, and we'll read your text on the radio. Speaking of Val Kilmer, all right, I'm going to save this for after the break. This involves Marlon Brando's gas, and it's a story Val Kilmer told. I'm going to tell you that next. And I don't know, you think you're done with political ads, Conrad, on your phone?
Well, I was watching some YouTube today, and there was nothing there, so.
I still got some today. All right, we're coming right back. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Never to be mine, no matter how I try.
Hey, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Madison's experiencing some internet issues, so we're actually not on the radio right now. But so,
on the we're only on the stream.
Yeah, we're only on stream right now.
What kind of, like, was it a storm or something?
I'm not totally sure, but as soon as it's resolved, I'll let you know.
All righty, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. You got Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Wednesday night, a gloomy Wednesday night in Wisconsin, but we're hoping to brighten it a little bit. We're lighting it up here at Nightlight tonight. Boy, I don't, God, look at my neck. This is crazy. Is this the same view I have of myself every night when I'm at the studio?
I think so.
Look at my neck meat. To quote, that's a kid from Napoleon Diamond. Stop it, Napoleon. You're pulling on my neck meat. So Paula, Conrad's mom checking in on the text line. Now, how are they listening, Conrad?
They must be looking over the stream and and texting in.
Because I understand, folks, the radio, there's a technical issue. I'm sure everyone at Civic Media is on it. Those guys are fantastic. So the radio will be back up and running at some point, I'm sure. But if you want, you can text over the stream right now. That's the best way to get a hold of us if you're watching on the stream. So Conrad's mom says, I agree with Conrad on a good Philly, but I also love a good BLT. Yes. You know what's going to happen tonight? A lot of people are going to text sandwiches in, and I will have forgotten about them. I love a good BLT.
So how would you make your BLT?
Toast.
Yes.
Like a good white bread, maybe even a whole grain bread. I would toast it. Mayo. One of the few times I really like mayo slathered. And then just the basics, maybe some salt and pepper, just bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Maybe some jalapenos. Con. I like to put jalapenos.
Great addition. Yes.
Yeah, that's the only thing though I do to doctor my BLTs. What about you?
So I made one the other day, and I had some applewood smoked bacon.
Ooh,
and
very nice.
Cut up some nice tomatoes, put some lettuce on there. And I just absolutely slathered that whole thing in mayo.
That's awesome.
The one thing that mayo has a lot of calories in it. So as I'm counting calories, you get that the light mayo.
Wait, you buy the light mayo?
Yeah, yep. I buy light mayo, yep. Which
that?
is hilarious because it reminds me of a scene in Friends when Monica says, "It's not real mayo," because she's scared of light mayo.
She's scared of light mayo. That's hilarious.
So I don't agree with her. I think it tastes really good on it. I think it tastes the same, to be honest.
I can deal with light. I think they make a fat-free mayo.
I haven't seen that one.
Maybe I'm wrong. There is an avocado oil mayo that is dynamite.
Yes.
And I've had that. That's very good. So that's our question, and we might be a little light on text until the radio gets back up. If you're watching on the stream, folks, you can stream your comments in over the YouTube, Facebook. Hey, we got to get those other comments. We had some social media comments. We'll read those as well. But right now, all right, this is funny. Val Kilmer passed away. It's not tragic, but it is, because he had throat cancer 10 years ago, and he died from complications of pneumonia. Only 65. His career basically ended when he was 55. But he told a story to mess with Val Kilmer on the set. This is the story I clipped from the internet. It says, due to Marlon Brando's infamous large appetite and dislike of Val Kilmer on set, he would request and eat large amounts of cabbage an hour before a scene started and would silently fart on purpose numerous times to leave what was described as a foul stench that would annoy Kilmer.
Wow.
I mean, movie making is a collaborative process. You're supposed to work with your scene partner. That's just like completely antisocial behavior. Like Marlon Brando, great actor. Love him. Why would you do that though? Like when Will Smith did it and almost killed Tommy Lee Jones on the set of Men in Black, apparently, he was apologetic. He couldn't control it. Will Smith apparently has very bad gas and he can't control it. Marlon Brando gave himself gas to mess with Val Kilmer. I think it was on the island of Dr. Moreau. Really weird stuff. But we have a clip. This is one of my favorite Val Kilmer clips. It's from the movie Tombstone. He plays Doc Holliday. And there's an actor named Michael Biehn who plays the adversary in the movie. He's a good guy too. He was a parent at our school in LA. Very nice guy, Michael Biehn, but a very good bad guy in movies too. So he shows up expecting Wyatt Earp, and Wyatt Earp's good buddy, Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer, steps out of the shadows.
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Fight's not with you, Holiday.
I beg to differ, sir. We started a game we never got to finish. Play for blood, remember?
I was just fooling about.
I wasn't. And this time, it's legal.
All right, Lunger. Let's do it. Say when.
Come on. Come on! Oh, Johnny. Come on! You're no Daisy. You're no Daisy at all.
Poor soul. He was just too high-strung.
You can cut it, Con. I never gave you cuts for that, did I? There's a lot of silence there. We could have tightened that up. Sorry, folks. But a great scene. One of the best scenes. And I love when he bends down and gets in his face and says, "You were just too high strung." Doc Holliday, the fastest gun in the West. Val Kilmer no longer with us. Coming up next, Scott Lucas will be here, ladies and gentlemen. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I get so lost sometimes. Days pass, and this emptiness fills my heart. When I want to run away, I drive off in my car. But whichever way
Hey, Scott, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I just wanted to test your audio quick before we go back on air. And see,
How do I sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll be back in about 2 minutes. All right.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Honey, you are my shining star. Don't you go away. Oh, baby, wanna be right here where you are until my dying day. Yeah, baby. So many have tried to find a love like yours and mine. Girl, don't you realize how you hypnotize? Make me love you more each time. Yeah, baby. Honey, I'll never leave you lonely. Give my love to you only. To you only. To you only. Honey, you are my shining star. Don't you go away. No, baby. Wanna be right here where you are until my dying day. Yeah, baby. Feels so good when we're lying here next to each other.
Welcome back to Nightlight, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Wednesday night, a gloomy day here in Wisconsin. Wherever you're joining us from, I hope you had a wonderful day and hope we can help take your mind off all the negative things that happen during the day. In just a minute, Scott Lucas will join us. He is the frontman for the band, the Chicago-based band Local H, and he has a movie in the Wisconsin Film Festival called Lifers. We'll talk to Scott about that, and then our pal Frank Anderson, Appleton's own, will be here to discuss stories from his website, Wisconsinology, and we'll get into a whole bunch of things like we always do with Frank. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite sandwich? It is National PB&J Day, and we widened it a little bit, and we're taking answers to the question, what is your favorite sandwich? Steve from the 920 says, I got to say the best sandwich that I could eat every day is a hot bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Also, as far as a great cold sandwich is any chicken, ham, or egg salad sandwich with lettuce, onion, celery on a buttery croissant. Wow. Steve says my childhood favorite when I would explore the back 40 was a radish butter sandwich on white bread. I've never heard of that. Have you heard of that, Conrad?
My dad's mentioned it a couple times, but I can't say I've tried it myself.
I can't say I'm salivating thinking about that sandwich.
Yeah, no.
Sounds healthy though. Thank you, Steve. Al from Jackson says, oops, sorry, wrong. From the 920, Val Kilmer passed away today. How would they rate in a prom date? Oh, that was our question from the other night. That's Colin from Green Bay. Thank you, Colin. Well, I wouldn't want him to be my prom date, Colin, but I would imagine Val Kilmer probably was a bit odd at times. I don't know if he'd be a great prom date. Probably a good dancer. He was great in Top Secret. So there you go. Let us know. We'll read your text on the radio. Always more fun when you guys participate. And right now, it is my pleasure to welcome a filmmaker who made a film called Lifers that is playing in the Wisconsin Film Festival coming up in just a few days. And he is the front man for the Chicago-based Local H, a great rock band. We'll talk to him a little bit about that too. Scott Lucas joins us now. Hey, Scott.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good.
The
You're going to
last
ask me
time
what my favorite sandwich is?
I absolutely am going to ask you that, but I just want to say the last time I talked to you a couple weeks ago on PBS Wisconsin for the director's cut episode for the film festival, you were in your car, and so it's nice to see you. You were mobile, and now you seem a little more sedentary, which is probably
Yeah,
good.
I was in a rental car, and unfortunately, it was a Tesla.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which
Did
was
anybody try to vandalize it, or?
yeah, no, but I couldn't look anybody in the face. It was a demoralizing experience.
They're very controversial cars right now for sure.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. Either way, I'm glad you're parked somewhere tonight. You don't have to be anywhere, it seems like, so we can spend a few minutes here, a little longer than we did on PBS Wisconsin, and talk about your film. But yeah, tell us your favorite sandwich, Scott.
Eggplant Parmesan sandwich. It's the best.
Nice.
With extra sauce.
Extra sauce, red sauce?
Oh, red sauce, yeah.
Okay. Wow, nice. Okay, that's a great answer. So before we get into lifers, I love talking to people who have like several different avenues in the arts. You already have a band. You're part of this successful band that I believe you founded. We'll talk about that. But also now you're a filmmaker too. So tell us a little bit about your background, Scott, and what got you to these endeavors.
I just always liked music and movies growing up. I can't remember which came first. I'm pretty sure it was music. But yeah, I mean, I never played sports, so it was either listening to music or watching movies. And I mean, I think in the end, I got further than most people who were playing sports.
Listen, do you have kids?
I'm about to.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
I told my kids, I said, look, I know how crazy sports get with the kids. And I said, if you're a prodigy, I'll go somewhere every weekend.
Right.
We'll get a hotel. If you're going to the Olympics, I'm in. But if this is like when we were younger, it was like Little League. I played like 3 sports because you didn't have to focus on anything. And I wasn't very good, but I was just like part of the team. Now people lose their minds over youth sports. So buckle up for that, Scott.
I mean, I think people thought, I was wasting my time. I walk by, everybody's playing sports, and I've got a new Scorpions record. And I think now I realize what I was doing was I was getting ready for what would become my life, not only my job, but my life.
And it's interesting because and not to turn this into a whole different conversation, but I have nothing against sports. I'm not trying to pit the arts and sports against each other because you get great things from both.
I'll do that for you.
But when we moved here to a small town, everybody, I would say it's more sports oriented, and people are like, well, the values and the lessons you learn in sports. And I would counter and I'd say, look, you learn the same things when you're in a play or a band. You have to work together. You have a common goal. It might be less physically taxing, but not always. So they're all good stuff for kids.
Yeah, I'd rather be around musicians than I would at least coaches. Players are fine. The coaches that I don't know. It was probably different growing up where I was. I got no love for it.
Where'd you grow up?
Zion, Illinois.
Oh, okay. Wow, up near a border town.
Yeah, right there on the border.
That's awesome. All right, well, tell us. All right, let's start with lifers, because you were on Director's Cut a couple weeks ago. We got a chance to talk about it a little bit, but tell us about the movie and where the title comes from, and what a lifer is.
Kind of what we were talking about. It's a person who has this job, and in my case, it's a musician. But I mean, it's the kind of thing that I would do for free. There's that scene in Field of Dreams when they're talking to Ray Liotta, and he's Shoeless Joe, and he says that line. He's like, man, I would have done it for free. I would have done it for nothing, is I think what he says. And that's the way I feel about music. Like anything that I've gotten out of it as far as material things, that's just a happy byproduct. The most important thing for me is what it's given me as far as just I enjoy it. I'm glad that I was able to do that.
Absolutely. It's interesting because I was a stand-up comic for years, and I remember when I started in Chicago several years into it, the clubs all cut the money. And the comics kind of came together. I was one of the instigators, and we had a couple meetings. It was like 100 comedians. Some were funny, some were not. And one of them would say, well, I don't know what to do here because we do this for free. And I'm like, please don't say that.
Don't say
That's
that.
not what this is about. Because I agree with you. We would do it for free because we love it, but it is a skill, and musicians and artists do deserve to be paid.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. That's why musicians are so easily taken advantage of, and why record labels historically have been able to do that, and why movie studios are able to take advantage of directors and artists, is because they would do it for free. This is their life, and they can see that. The money men can see that, and they know that they can take all the money and go, oh, this was a wonderful experience. Let me take the money. Screw you.
Right. Exactly. So in the film, I haven't seen the film yet. I haven't had a chance to see the film. What do you follow? Are you in the film? Like, are you the main guy, or do you have people you interview about being lifers? How does that work?
Yeah, well, we decided to go about it a different way. It's kind of a documentary, but not really. So it's basically a concert film, and at times it will go off stage and follow, like, say, a guy who sells our T-shirts, and it'll follow him off stage down the stairs at the Metro to where he sells somebody a T-shirt, and that person will buy a T-shirt, and they'll go up the other stair to watch the show. Or somebody will leave and go outside to smoke a cigarette, and you can hear the music in the background as they're talking about how we're not any good anymore, and we suck now. And so it's this sort of feeling that you're at a concert, and when you go outside you miss some of the music, and it's about the audience and the band and the bartenders and security, and it's about everybody that's out when you go see a show.
That's pretty cool. I like the aesthetic you're painting there of the film. And I think when you were on PBS, I asked you, your film is described as not quite a documentary and not quite a concert film. So that's to what you were just saying. You blend the narrative and sort of documentary too, and you compare it to The Song Remains the Same and Richard Linklater's Slacker. Two great comparisons. Did the film turn out exactly how you set out to make it, or did you have to adjust along the way as a filmmaker?
Kind of. I mean, the script was much more of a sort of a long one take thing in my head, and that soon became really boring. And I like editing, and I like when you watch a movie and there's jump cuts and there's energy in the editing. There's a
Right.
lot of stuff that you'll see now, and it's like, oh, it's all one cut, and it's like, that's great, but what about the edit? What about the art of the energy of an edit? And so I wanted to have both of those things. So making the editing more energetic was something that just kept happening in the process. Um, Basically, it's how I envisioned it, and it turned out the way I thought it would. And that description of Zeppelin meets Slacker is pretty apt in my opinion. But there are little things, and those are things that only made the movie better, I think.
My guest is Scott Lucas. His film is Lifers, and it's playing at the Wisconsin Film Festival. You can catch the movie if you're in the Madison area or plan on being there, April 6th at 7:30 p.m. The screening is at Music Hall. That's a really cool little venue they have there, and very appropriate for your movie as it's music-based. It's interesting. I talked to a lot of documentarians who have made me realize how important editing is when it comes to documentaries. Like, shooting is great, but you really don't know what you have until
Right.
you sit down and edit it. What was your favorite part of the process?
Editing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really, where the movie comes together, and I would imagine anybody's movie comes together. It was a lot of fun for me, but it was it was a painstaking process. I mean, I'd never edited anything before, so I had to learn how to do that. And I bought a computer, and it had a Final Cut program on it. So I edited the
Yeah.
movie using that, handed it off to my producer, and he's like, "Oh, nobody uses Final Cut anymore." And I was like, "Ah." So I had to learn Premiere, which is what everybody uses, and I had to re-edit the movie. So that took a while.
I would imagine you're probably a much younger man when you started this process.
Yes, I
Because editing
certainly
can be
was.
pretty
Yeah, yeah.
tedious.
Right.
Have you seen the film yet, Scott, with an audience? And what's been the response?
Yeah, it's been great. It's not available on streaming, and I don't intend to make it available on streaming. So I've only seen it with an audience, and
Oh,
I've taken it on tour. And when I talked to you, I was in a car on my way to Philadelphia to show it. So this screening coming up Sunday will be part of a 4-day run where I'm showing it in Iowa, Kansas City, and Minneapolis. And I'm taking it to theaters and doing Q&As. And, if you want to see the movie, you have to come to a theater. It's like very old school, but, I want to do that type of thing. It's kind of like a midnight movie, And so
great.
I wanted to turn into this cult thing. If you want to see it, you got to come out to a theater. I think we're all in our bubbles too much, and anything I can do to get people out of that, I will do.
I love that. You have a podcast. I don't know if I just stumbled onto a podcast that was movie based, but you have Ben Reiser on it, and the podcast
Right.
was called Lifers. Was that just you guys talking about the film, or do you have a podcast called Lifers as well?
I have a Local H has a record called Lifers. I have a podcast called Lifers, and now I have a movie called Lifers. I swear to God, I will do something that's not called Lifers.
Okay. We'll hold you to that. My guest is Scott Lucas. We'll be back in just a minute after a very short break, and we'll ask him about his band, Local H, and I'm probably have a couple more movie questions for him too. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. I found myself phoning her at least 10 times a day. It's so unusual for me to carry on this way. I tell you, I can't sleep at night, wanting to hold her tight. Just wanna close your eyes, follow your great God. We made a promise, we swore we'd always remember. No retreat, baby, no surrender. Our soldiers on a winter's night with a vow to defend. No retreat, baby, no surrender.
Welcome back. This is Nightlight. I am Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Wednesday night. Doing the show from home tonight. It's a little different. It's a little strange. My neck is on display. I don't like that one bit. And I'm not a vain person, ladies and gentlemen. But it's just a different look. Scott, I can't get used to it. Speaking of my guest, Scott Lucas, and speaking of Ben Reiser, he texted us on the stream over YouTube, and he says, Pete, you are so right about To Live and Die in LA. One of my favorites. Okay, so here at Civic Media, I do these classic movie picks every week. And last week, my pick was To Live and Die in LA. Phenomenal movie. Almost a flawless movie. If you have not seen it, folks, check it out. Thank you, Ben. I know Ben was a fan of that movie because you couldn't stream it for a long time. And then I saw he did something with it for one of his projects or at Cinematheque or something. And I was like, I looked for it again and I did find it. So it is available to stream now. Great movie.
Yeah,
but check out the
now.
Yeah. So check out the classic movie picks of the week. Also, Dave Kunish says, is a gyro a sandwich? Absolutely, Dave. Gyros are dynamite. I definitely call it a sandwich. And then Chad Fran, our buddy.
Or a euro?
A gyro. Gyro is definitely a sandwich, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Forgot about a hero sandwich. That's a great name for a sandwich. Chad says, let's go Night Light with Pete Schwaba. Let's go, Chad. Good to hear from you, buddy. Our pal, Chad Franker. My guest is Scott Lucas. He is the front man for the band Local H, and you can catch his movie Lifers at the Wisconsin Film Festival. It plays April 6th at 7:30 p.m. at Music Hall. That is this Sunday night, right, Scott?
This Sunday, yeah.
You going to be there, Q&A?
I will be there, yep. And I'm going to
Fantastic.
play an acoustic set as well.
Oh, very nice. Do you see yourself doing more films, or are you pretty content focusing on music full time?
I'd like to. Movies seem to take a long time and a lot of money, but yeah, sure, I'd like to do another one. And if I did another one, I'd like to not be in it, and I'd like to just direct it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Sounds like you got the bug. What do you listen to, Scott, when you're not making music? Like, what is your genre of music by choice? What do you put on when you're driving around or sitting at home?
Pretty much rock. I listen to the Beatles, the basic stuff. I like the new Kim Deal record a lot. I listen to this Chicago band called Tough Suds. I think they're new.
Great name.
Yeah, I think their new record is really great.
That's cool. What do you have influences? Like you say rock, so I assume that's what you listened to growing up. But who directly would you say when you were listening to when you were younger, were you like, I want to make music like that, or I want to sound like that?
Stuff like is classic rock, like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, and all of that stuff. Ozzy Osbourne was huge for me. So like the stuff that I first started listening to, well, like ABBA was my first favorite band. So it was nothing too crazy. It wasn't until I started getting into like maybe REM that I started caring about stuff that wasn't stuff that you were hearing on the radio at the time.
You want to know, like I grew up in Chicago till I was like 12, moved to Marinette, Wisconsin, where I am now. And I feel like living in a small town, I heard Def Leppard, I heard ABBA, I didn't hear REM till I got to college. And I was like, who is this? Like, it's so
College
weird
rock.
what you're, well, and that's what it was, right? And it's so strange what you're exposed to. There are so many bands I didn't even know about because I was just kind of just doing the mainstream stuff,
Yeah, I mean, I think kids today, they've got like they know more about music than I did when I was growing up. And I think that's super cool. But I mean, there's like the bands that I really liked, and I really got into every single Pink Floyd record and every record that wasn't on the radio. And like, I bought them all. So I sort of had skin in the game. Like I had to like it or else I wasted my money. So I'm kind of happy that I got that as well, that I grew up on albums and I didn't have everything just right in front of me and go, oh, I'll just take a little bit and sample this and sample that.
Right. Tell us about where can people see Local H if they're in the Chicago area, and do you travel outside of Chicago and tour? But where can people see you, or even online if you have music like on Spotify or whatever? Where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you can find our stuff on all the places like Spotify, Apple, wherever you like to stream music. I think you look out for us maybe at Summerfest. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say that yet, but watch
nice.
for us in Milwaukee. This summer, I'm kind of taking off because I'm gonna have we're gonna have a baby. But we'll be out in the fall. We'll be touring all over the place in the fall, in September and October.
You're gonna take the baby on the road with you and expose the little one to some rock and roll lifestyle at an early.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. I mean, everybody's giving us advice on what to do, but it's like this is our kid. We're gonna do what we want with it.
That's right.
We're gonna make our own person.
I love it, man. Good luck with the screening in Madison, and thanks so much for your time tonight. And I hope one of these days I get to see your band. You guys rock.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, have a great night, Scott, and congrats again on the baby. All right,
thanks a lot.
Yeah, you got it. Break a leg. That'll be fun. That is April 6th, 7:30 p.m. Music Hall in Madison, the Wisconsin Film Festival. The film is Lifers, and Scott will be there playing a set, which is really cool, and doing a Q&A. So, Conrad, I think what we're going to do when we come back is catch up on some texts.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to think of another sandwich because I feel like I've talked about the beef sandwich before on the show, and I think I owe listeners more.
You know what's really good? Just a basic peanut butter sandwich.
With no jelly?
No jelly.
That's anarchy, buddy. Frank Anderson, ladies and gentlemen, from Wisconsinology. He's also a writer, producer, director. He'll join us. We'll talk about a lot of fun stuff, and we'll read your text when we come back and play another fun clip. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Drop the top, baby. And let's cruise on into It's Better Than Ever Street.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who loves to watch true crime, but only if it's shoplifting, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back to Nightlight. I am Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Wednesday night. Those of you listening on the stream, good to have you. We've got, I have to ask you, Conrad, where was that music coming from?
That's from me?
No, but there was a song we don't have in our arsenal, so to speak. There was a Springsteen song where he did a duo with Gaslight Anthem.
Was that
ours?
I think it's Surrender, yes.
No Surrender. Wow.
No Surrender.
I didn't know I don't know I had sent that to you. That's a great song and a great
I've been
version.
playing that intro for a while.
I don't think we ever got to the point where Brian from Gaslight Anthem sang.
Probably not.
Okay. And then this is interesting. You played the Chris Isaac song, one of my favorites. I'm glad that's in our, you're still playing that.
That's a great song.
Great song. Living for Your Lover, it's called. Yep. And it's interesting because tonight, on the night that we're talking about Val Kilmer having passed away at the age of 65 yesterday, in the documentary Val, pardon me, on Amazon Prime, that song, like I had heard that song 20 years ago, whenever it was, and I heard it again when I watched the Val documentary. And that's why I sent that song to you to be part of the rotation, because the movie opens with Val Kilmer in his trailer and an actor called Rick Rossovich, who's also in Top Gun. They're on the set of Top Gun, hanging out in their trailer, these three young actors. Rick Rossovich was also in The Terminator, Roxanne, kind of had a good run there in the 80s and 90s. Anyway, that song is playing throughout the scene. It's like a 3 or 4 minute scene where they're talking about being fired from movies and talking about acting. And they get really silly, and Val Kilmer starts making fun of Tom Cruise, and he's doing this character. It's just a great moment on the set of a movie off camera. So if you're interested, folks, check out the Val documentary. Then it goes into his throat cancer and everything he was dealing with at the time. But that scene when he was much younger with those other two guys, and the other actor, I can't remember what his name is, but he was also in Top Gun, the original Top Gun. And I think he ended up marrying Kelly McGillis. Anyway, the three of them are hanging out. That song is playing. It's just a fun. And then Rick Rossovich gets really weird and runs out of the trailer. It's just kind of a bizarre scene. But that reintroduced me to that song, Living for Your Lover by Chris Isaac. Great tune. Hey, great to have you with us here on this Wednesday night. I know those of you on the stream, we're going to get to your texts in just a minute. Our question of the night, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of PB&J Day, what is your favorite sandwich? Conrad said the Philly cheesesteak. I said the Italian beef sandwich, and a sub that I used to get at a place called Submarine in Milwaukee and Chicago. And I can't remember. I don't know if they're around anymore, but I also have a soft spot for the BLT. So let us know what your favorite sandwich is. Let us know on the stream, or if you can hear us, 855-752-4842. But the stream is your best bet right now. So anyway, let's get to some texts here. Chad texted us before. I think he said, is it in Beloit? I think he was talking about the Wisconsin Film Festival. Chad, the Wisconsin Film Festival is in Madison, kind of all around the campus and all around the city. It's a great time if you're looking for something to do. Beloit does have a film festival as well, but this is not that one. Daniel on the stream says, Bound for the Floor, an amazing song, minimal progression, repeated lyrics. I got to think there is a music theory graduate class that has dissected why it works so well. I don't know that song. Thank you, Daniel. Maybe that's one of Local H's songs. I don't know. We need clarification, Daniel, please. Amanda, these are some texts from the social media page. We've been posting the question, folks, our question of the night earlier in the day on social media. So you're welcome to play there too, and we'll read them later like we are now. Amanda says, anything from Cheesesteak Rebellion. Conrad, you been there?
I still haven't made it out there.
Is that a Green Bay establishment?
Actually, Paul Vanderplas, Wonderfully Wisconsin, he'd made a video about that for his TikTok.
Oh.
And that food looks to die for. But it's a Star Wars themed restaurant with Philly cheesesteaks and stuff like that. So I still need to go. Last time he was here, he told me that food is great. So you need to go in there for the experience and the food.
Is that in Green Bay though, or is it all around the state? Okay,
it's in Green Bay.
So Amanda says anything from Cheesesteak Rebellion. Paul, the founder of Wonderfully Wisconsin, great app or great follow on social media. Check it out. He says, I like mine wrapped in bacon and cooked on the smoker for about 90 minutes. Don't knock it till you try it. I would not knock anybody who puts that much effort into a sandwich. I would never knock that, especially not someone as particular as Paul. Thank you, buddy. Daniel Wheeler says, I court controversy. So I'll say my favorite sandwich is a hot dog. Very basic, Daniel. And you know, you're very attentive because you just texted us about this song and the layers within the song. And then your favorite sandwich is a hot dog. But that's okay. You're not a cliche. You pick your own paths in life and you figure it out. I love that. Eric Grenier says Braunschweiger with cheese, onion, and tomato. I think that's liver. You ever try that, Con? It's like a liver sausage, right? Braunschweiger. I know it's a German sausage.
I have never tried liver, and I don't want to.
That's the spirit. But like I said, Eric, there are no right or wrong answers. That's a great, very involved, and I can tell you put some thought into that. Thank you, buddy. Sherry, our friend Sherry, says lettuce, butter, and a slice of American cheese on white bread. I got to just take a moment here to wrap my head around that. Lettuce, butter, and two kinds of dairy on white bread with lettuce. Sherry going all in Wisconsin style on that. I love it. Thank you, Sherry. That's great. Ben Reiser says he texts us on the stream, Wisconsin Film Fest. He posted in the stream, if you're watching. Can people see that, Conrad?
Yeah.
I think those are tickets to Scott's movie. Okay, so if you're watching on the stream, click on Ben's link and you'll have tickets to, I assume that's to Scott's movie, Lifers. Dave also checks in on the stream and says, Gouda grilled cheese. Oh my God, yes.
Oh, how did I forget about grilled cheese? Grilled cheese is amazing.
I didn't forget about it. I thought about it early, but regular grilled cheese is fine. But Gouda grilled cheese, I've had that. That is outstanding. Excellent, Dave. Thank you. Let's get to some of the other texts here. Where are we, Con? What do we got here? Oh, AJ from the 608 says, wanted to ask if you've seen the movie Palindrome. It was a hard watch, but a good one. I have not, AJ. You see that one, Con?
No.
And I'm doing this backwards. She says, Pete and Conrad, I love sandwiches. However, you define one. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Who knows? But my favorite is a good hot Italian sub. Is that the beef sandwich I'm talking about, AJ? Maybe. It could be cold cuts. That's like what a hero, I think, has a lot of Italian meats on it. That's good stuff, too. Thank you, AJ. Kimber from, how do you say that again, Con? Moscata?
Oh, how do we
Someone
always forget
corrected us once, and I can't remember. Well, you know what town we're talking about.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Kimber says, if Tom Hanks isn't available, I'm definitely down for Christopher Walken. This is the prom date question. I love that people are recycling the prom date question from the other day. What celebrity would you take to the prom? And it could be the radio is getting crossed with the stream right now. But Kimber says, Tom Hanks or Christopher Walken. I think Tom Hanks would probably be a more conventional date than Christopher Walken. You know,
I
what
mean,
do I know?
I would love to listen to that accent the whole night, you know?
Me too. Totally. I could be their designated driver. All right. So Daniel checks back in. Yes, that was a local H song. It was a big hit on MTV 120 minutes. Saw them at First Ave in Minneapolis. Well, that's Prince's Club. Thank you, Daniel, for clarifying that. I thought maybe that's who you were talking about, but that's great stuff. Our pal Frank Anderson will be along shortly. We'll talk a little bit about Val Kilmer and his great movie roles. We'll talk about Frank's website, Wisconsinology. And then Frank posted something on Facebook I thought was great. Kiss is charging people to be their roadie, like the big time fans. They charge one fan over $12,000 to travel with them and be their roadie.
They don't get paid at all. They pay to do that.
They pay to do that. I mean, that's how, I don't know if Kiss is desperate for money. They're not in their heyday anymore, but you think they would have packed some of that away. Frank obviously had an issue with it. I'll ask Frank about that when he's here.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, this is Christopher Maloney's birthday. You know who that is, Con?
No.
He started his career, well, he did a lot of stuff, but his big show about 20 years ago was he was Olivia Benson's partner on SVU, Law and Order. And he's a good actor. He has his own show now called Law and Order Organized Crime. I watched the first couple seasons, and now it's moving strictly to streaming on Peacock. I like the guy, but he's probably mid-60s. Well, I can tell you, it's his birthday. Let's look at the sheet. He's like 64, I think. And he's one of these guys, like Robert Kennedy, too. If you're 65 or 70 and you are juicing and you look like the Incredible Hulk, I think that's weird. And I'm not trying to offend people. If that's what you do, I get it. but it's such a fake look. It's like, that's not really you. That's the drugs. I don't think I would ever do that. I want to be lean into my older years. Contrary to what you see right now. The neck meat, Conrad, the neck meat. I don't think I could ever do that though. Do you see yourself taking steroids, Conrad, into your 60s?
No,
You don't do it now. So why would you do it then, right?
I'm also afraid of needles, so.
Is there other ways you can do it now? Can you just take like a pill? It's not a trap. I'm
probably
okay.
is. Like there's new ways of everything nowadays. So maybe.
And I want to say, like, Robert Kennedy is like, I think 70. And there's pictures of him with his shirt off. Christopher Maloney on the show, he's got these veins. And I like the guy. I think he's a good actor. But his head has like veins in it. It's like, man, they look like they're about to burst. I've heard about what it does to your privates. All kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
Why would you risk that? It's not that kind of show, but let's get a medical person. Let's have Dr. Lyerly come on.
Yeah, there we go.
Talk about what steroids do to men. All right, that's another time. Frank Anderson will be joining us after this very short break. Folks, it's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Word up, talk, just move right up the wall. Day or night, sky's the limit, so we dance to the breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball. This is getting heavy, can you hear the bass? Boom, I'm ready. Levies, citizens, honey, yeah, this bitch ching like money. And this go overload on me today.
I'm double.
Welcome back to Nightlight. I'm Pete Schwaba, ladies and gentlemen. We our question of the night is, what is your favorite sandwich? It's National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. So let us know. We've had some great texts. Some sandwiches I'd forgotten about, but let us know yours. We break all the big stories here at Nightlight, folks. We got to get to the bottom of this sandwich thing. Very excited to welcome my next guest. He is the founder of Wisconsinology, and he's a very accomplished musician, producer, director. He's done it all when it comes to business, animation. I think he even had his own catering company at some point, folks. That's how prolific this next guest is. Mr. Frank Anderson joins us now. Hey, Frank.
Hey, Pete, how are you?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Fantastic. Couldn't be better.
It's good to hear your voice. We have you on about once a month typically, but I feel like more time went now. I don't know if you were busy or if you forgot about us because you're too much of a big shot. I don't know what the deal is, Frank, but
That's
it's good
the
to have
deal
you.
right there. I'm just too much of a big shot. I do big shot stuff all the time.
You can't wait for Wisconsinology, the movie and the book to come out so you could just tell everyone to kiss your ass and take off. And I wouldn't blame you one bit.
Done that.
Yeah. Frank, how are you, buddy? How you been?
Busy, just busy.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I see your coming attractions on public television and of a new season of Director's Cut. Is that right?
Well, we don't really do seasons anymore. We do specials now. I still do introduce all the independent lens and POV films, but Director's Cut is kind of pared down a little bit. But we still do a film festival episode and the occasional special is about where we're at right now.
Oh, wonderful! I love it. I do watch it.
You've been on, right? Before I hosted.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. I was on in the early days. Yes.
You were on in the heyday when they still gave signing bonuses and per diems, I think.
Oh, it was big time when I was on. It was amazing. I mean, I got a cup of tea. It was wonderful. I could snap my fingers. Tea appears. It was just amazing.
Hey, our question tonight, Frank, is what is your favorite sandwich? It is National PB&J Day. So before we get into the nitty-gritty here.
Toasted
cheese. Nice. Another vote for toasted cheese. That's a grilled cheese, right?
Yeah, grilled cheese.
Okay.
I call it toasted cheese because my grandfather called it toasted cheese. And I figure he's from the early days of toasted cheese sandwiches.
Do you want to know, not to disparage your memory or anything, but you know who else called it toasted cheese sandwiches?
Who?
Norman Bates in Psycho 2.
That is so awesome. That doesn't disparage my memory. It makes my memory double down in awesomeness.
That gives your grandpa all kinds of street
Norman
cred.
Bates, who's based on the great Ed Gein.
Yes.
Called them toasted. I have to watch it again tonight.
Well, but it was the second one, Frank, because I saw that one, and he's like, it's right as he lifts the shovel, and he says, "You want some toasted cheese sandwiches?" I think he's talking to his grandma or something. It's not whimsical, like Ed Gein was.
The character is borrowing that term from an older generation.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Your grandfather beat him to it, though, I think, or the Hollywood writer to it. So. Hey, I thought of you the other day too, because our question was, what was your favorite fictitious political movie character? And I thought this would be a good one. I almost made it the question tonight because I thought you could have fun with that one. But do you have a favorite, fictitious political movie character?
I do. All the King's Men.
Oh, wow.
The movie Ronald Reagan was in. Oops, forget it, wrong movie. Broderick Crawford in All the King's Men played Huey Long, but it's fictitious. That's my favorite.
Well, the fictitious political movies are the best because it's just whatever the writer says. There's no gridlock.
It's whatever they want and whatever they're feeling and whatever they lean to. Yeah.
My favorite was Sorrel Brooke as Boss Hogg in The Dukes of Hazzard. I thought he was my favorite on-camera politician.
Oh, man. And who was your favorite sheriff?
Boy, that's a good question. I'd have to think of that.
You mean it's not Roscoe?
Roscoe Pico Train. Yes.
Yeah.
And I liked how he said his name. He said Roscoe Pico Train. Yeah, he was great.
Played by the great James Best, one of the busiest character actors in Hollywood television history, and the first cousin of the Everly Brothers.
Is that true? Wow, no kidding.
That is absolutely true.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic.
And he plays a musician on the Andy Griffith Show, that traveling musician whose luck is down.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I've probably seen 2 episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, so I'm not the guy. I know. It was a little before my time, but I all my friends who are older than me in comedy would always be riffing about the Andy Griffith Show. And I just kind of would nod and smile. I didn't want them to know.
Get in there and riff with them.
I couldn't do it. I was going Happy Days.
Too bad.
I know. I'm ashamed of myself.
You are younger. That's right.
I'm a kid, Frank.
And I've got to start. I mean, these things we bring up, most of them are completely forgotten anyway.
So, all right. So I'm excited to have you here. I want to typically, before you come on the show, Frank, I go to Wisconsinology. I scroll through your Facebook. You are a great friend / follow on Facebook. I don't know that you want more followers because your page is kind of maybe more personal, but you post such great things on Facebook. And when we do a quick break here, Frank, I want to come back and I'm going to ask you, this is another thing that will bond us together, why you hate lawns.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay. We'll do that. Frank Anderson is my guest. We're going to talk about our hatred for lawns. Dave checks in on the stream and says, government cheese, grilled cheese, Sammy. You had me with Gouda, Dave. I don't know about that last one. But that is our question tonight, folks. What is your favorite sandwich? It is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, an American pastime. Chime in with whatever your favorite sandwiches is, and we will read your text on the radio. Great when you guys are more part of the show. Frank Anderson is here from Wisconsinology. The great writer, producer, director, musician. We're going to get into all things Frank after the news. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Give me a piece of mind.
Welcome back. This is Nightlight. I am Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with us. I guess we've been having some radio problems, but we are still on the stream. And whatever version of Nightlight you're listening to tonight, folks, it's great to have your ears. And if you're with us on the stream, our question of the night is, what is your favorite sandwich? It is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. So there you go. Tomorrow night on Nightlight, Greg Schwem, syndicated columnist, will join us at 6:35 to make the popcorn pick of the week. And then the Bucks did a really cool thing last weekend in Milwaukee at the Pfizer. John Corwin, a guy I know, won this Michelob fan challenge and got to do warm-ups and be on the court with Brandon Jennings. So we'll have him on the show tomorrow night to talk a little bit about that experience. And we're going to talk about a fan in Atlanta who tore his ACL during one of those halftime games. It's horrible.
Challenge.
It's horrible. All right. My guest right now is the wonderful Frank Anderson, one of Wisconsin's very own. He is the founder of Wisconsinology.com, a very accomplished musician. He often plays with Butch Vig and Garbage and the Know-It-All Boyfriends, and he's a producer, director of commercials and animation and documentaries. He's just a great guy, and I'm glad he's with us tonight. Frank, why do you hate lawns?
Well, I don't play with garbage.
No, well, I meant the band.
Although they just finished a wonderful tour of South America, selling out to like 30,000 people a night. So they're still pretty hot.
They're a great band, with or without you. I was misinformed. I invited you on this show because I thought you were part of Garbage, and you joined the show under false pretenses, Frank. Garbage is irrelevant.
Well, let's talk about lawns.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
What is the deal? Okay, so you posted on Facebook, a friend of yours posted something and you commented it, and I think you said, another reason I hate lawns. Please describe your hatred for lawns.
They're stupid. They demand your labor. They demand your neighbor's suspicion and gossip. They demand endless expense, and I now know why the most conservative neighbors I have the most perfect lawns. Why? Because a lawn is a monoculture. And what do conservatives want more than anything? They want you to believe what they believe. They want you to think like they think, and they want you to live their life and to keep your lawn 1 1/2 inches tall. It's awful. And they're butt ugly, like golf courses. I hate golf courses. Another stupid sport. People out there they compete against the worst enemy they'll ever have, themselves.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to win that one. No one wins that battle.
No one wins that.
There.
That's a good look.
I didn't even bring up that they require so much water and so many chemicals and provide zero benefit to any living creature. So they're arid zones, really.
Yeah. And that's where I agree with you. I'm not a lawn guy. You know, I thought, honestly, before we moved back to Wisconsin, I thought I'm an apartment and condo guy. That's me. I have no interest in working in the yard. I don't care. I keep the grass cut and it ends there. I have no, and we only have grass because the house we bought had a lawn. Like I'm not gonna, but I don't mind when people put like stones down or make it look nice another way. I'm kind of with you on the chemicals and all that. I know it makes us sound like communists, but I'm with you.
I mean, I can't even begin to name how many people I knew who were back in the 80s happily spraying Roundup all over the damn place. And, well, David's not with us anymore. No shit, you know?
Just a reminder, Frank, we are on live radio. Actually, we're not. We're on the stream.
Sorry.
Conrad, does that affect the FCC stuff?
No, I just have to edit the podcast. It's
okay, perfect. I thought you took a powder there. I'm glad you're still with us, buddy. All right, Frank. So, all right, we've established that we're both the same way on lawn, and I agree. I think it's it's like, just make yourself look presentable. The lawn is irrelevant.
Well, I just moved. I moved to a smaller house. I moved 2 blocks from my previous house.
Oh.
And what happens in this new house? I went from a postage size perfect sort of lawn, which is more clover than anything. And now I have a lawn, smaller house, bigger lawn, but I'm destroying that lawn. That lawn is coming down. It's going to be bricked over. There's going to be flowers everywhere. It's going.
Oh, that's funny. I'll help you. You just let me know, and I'm in the car in moments.
There's going to be some heavy ditch digging this summer.
Absolutely. So, all right. So another thing you posted about, you just did a simple RIP regarding Val Kilmer. I think one of,
oh, wow. Yeah.
There's all these stories about him and how he was difficult and whatever. Who cares? You never heard anything too horrible. The guy made phenomenal movies. And if a movie was mediocre, he elevated it. I am a huge Val Kilmer fan. What are your thoughts on his legacy?
I'm a massive Val Kilmer fan.
Yeah.
And when I first saw him play a Doc Holliday in Tombstone, I said to myself, I could watch this movie over and over. And guess what? It hasn't been off the air since it came out in 1994. It's been on, AMC played it day after day after day. Then TNT, then every station, then every network since. You cannot spin I'm not going to use these old words. You can't get the remote out and go through the stations without running into Tombstone. It's amazing. And it's because of his performance.
Absolutely. You're right. The movie's fine. It's a good movie, but he just takes it to another level. Did you see, let's talk about Top Secret, Frank, a movie that 3 Wisconsin.
I remember seeing that, yes.
Yeah, 3 Wisconsin comedy geniuses behind that one, too. Jim Abrahams and the Zucker brothers.
Absolutely, who came out of a wonderful Kentucky Fried Theater in Madison, Wisconsin, and went out west and became major interesting stories. So one of them came back to direct lottery commercials in Wisconsin. One's a series of lottery commercials, and they employed their usual Abraham Zucker humor, right? Which is funny. They did a lottery commercial where the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra gets into a snowball fight. Right? And it's funny. And there is mayhem. And yes, there's a little bit of mild violence. What happens right after they air it?
What?
A flood of negative phone calls about he's just throwing a snowball at somebody and that's too violent. Do they have to be so? It goes to show no matter what you do, you'll get blowback of some kind.
Absolutely.
But not the wonderful physical humor that always bothers me.
He was so good too, and I don't know if you saw a movie called Kill the Irishman. No,
I did not.
Oh, very underrated movie. The star of it is a guy I think his name is like Ray Stevenson. Not a huge name, but he's surrounded in this movie by Val Kilmer, Christopher Walken, and Vincent D'Onofrio, and it's a great mob movie. I think it's set in Cleveland, but Kilmer always stood out in that movie, and I loved him in Real Genius, which was his second movie ever, I think, after Top Secret.
Oh, that is a great movie. And have you seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
I have, but not for years. Yeah, he was great in that too.
Yeah. And
what
Heat,
about
he's pretty big role in Heat, directed by a UW grad, Michael Mann.
Michael Mann. What about did you see him in what's the name? What's the movie I'm thinking about? You said Heat. Oh my God. Oh, The Doors. He was Jim Morrison.
Oh, The Doors. He became Jim Morrison.
Yeah. Another one too. I thought like the movie was okay, but he was phenomenal.
Dr. Moreau.
Yeah. I saw that years ago.
The movie in which you have to surrender to Marlon Brando's madness.
Yes. Did you?
That movie is so wonderfully weird, and the documentary of the making of is one of the greatest making ofs ever.
I didn't see that, Frank, but I saw that. I shared this story earlier on the show when we first got on the air. I don't know if you heard this. Maybe it's in the documentary. I just found it on the internet. It says, due to Marlon Brando's infamous large appetite and dislike of Val Kilmer on set, he would request and eat large amounts of cabbage an hour before a scene started and and would silently fart on purpose numerous times to leave what was described as a foul stench that would annoy Kilmer. What kind of behavior is that?
Wonderful behavior. We need more of it. That's brilliant. I mean, Brando makes me laugh. He doesn't care anymore. He's seen it all. He's done it all. It's all BS. Showbiz is 100% BS. Why are we in it? I don't know.
What else are we going to do?
Yeah, but it's not worth taking really seriously. It's Brando was done. He was having fun, and his eccentric performance. You have to watch it.
Yeah, I do have to watch it because I kind of remember seeing the movie, but I kind of don't, which tells me I probably didn't see it all the way through. Frank Anderson is my guest. He is the founder of Wisconsinology.com. All things Wisconsin, folks. It's got weird stuff, historical stuff, fun stuff. It's a great site. Check it out. He joins us here over the phone tonight on Nightlight. Hey, I wanted to ask you too, Frank. Did you see the Sly and the Family Stone documentary on Hulu?
No, I did not.
Oh, you'll have to see that, and I'd love to discuss that with you. What a visionary he was.
Oh, yeah. Just as a very young man, producing America's immediate answer to the Beatles was the Beau Brummels. Whose two hit songs, Just a Little and Laugh, Laugh, hit the top 20. Sly Stone produced them and gave them that great big bass drum kick that, had not been really heard on the radio at that time.
Right. Yeah, it's just a great, I mean, you'll have to check it out, and next time you're on, we'll discuss it. But I didn't realize at the time how ahead of his time he was. And they made, and I forget this because, again, it was before my time, but he had men and women, black and white. Like, his band just looked so, it was great. He had all these different people in, and it was like ahead of its time. And I didn't realize he was such an influence on Prince and David Byrne.
I remember them as being very the standard. I mean, that was normal for that 1 year that everyone got away with it when Hollywood didn't know what the hell was going on and the record companies didn't know what was going on. 1969, I'm talking about, where they were signing everybody with long hair in sight and green lighting any movie that was counterculture. That one great year, everything looked like Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh, so cool. All right, well, we'll do that next time you're here. We'll discuss that. But I want to ask you, we probably have a couple minutes before break. I think we can get this in, but Kiss, this is one of your social media, something that obviously irritated you. Kiss is hiring people. No, they're not hiring people. They're leasing out rodeo or roadie positions to fans and making fans pay to be their roadie. What is going on there, Frank?
What kind of person with no feeling of himself whatsoever would do that? With zero self-respect, you'd gladly pay $15,000 to carry Gene Simmons crap around? I hate raging bands. I wish they'd all just go away, and I'm one of them.
You're still doing okay.
I'm sick of it. And why are people going to see them, right? Oh, I got to see them before they die. That's the only reason.
Right.
They should all go away with that. I've heard their songs enough.
I'm with you. Frank Anderson is here, folks. We'll have a couple more minutes with Frank when we get back. He's going to tell us about a really cool charity concert they do every year for a great cause. We'll kind of plant the seeds for that because that's coming up in a few months, but we'll get it out there and get the word out. We'll have a couple more minutes with Frank, and we'll finish up reading your texts when we come back. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Now she's gone and I am free, and she can't do a thing to me. I just wanna dance the night away with senoritas who can sway. Right now tomorrow's looking bright. every day the sun will shine. Take me to another place in my mind where everything is beautiful. And no wants and needs, no sun and breeze could rule our soul. I wish every day sunshine. How I wish every day if we could fly away on wings to a place where all could be true. And the sky was blue, and the sky so blue, and love was true. As me and you, how I wish every day
Welcome back. We are in the home stretch here at Nightlight. I am Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Wednesday night. We have a few more minutes with our friend Frank Anderson, who is on the line. A couple texts here. Dave on the stream says, this is answering last night's question, which fictitious political character. Dave says, Dave, Kevin Kline is the president's doppelganger. He fills in because the president is in a coma. I remember that movie, and I actually thought of that yesterday. And I was surprised, K-Man, that nobody said Dave last night. We had so many great texts and so many different fictitious characters, but nobody said Dave. And then Scott in the 608 says, hi, movie nerding, brotherly love. Great effort to celebrate brothers' love. Our Packers getting brother to Hall of Fame. But the great, wait a minute. Is he talking about
What the hell does that mean?
Is that the Vinacci interview, Conrad? We had Sam Vinacci on last a couple nights ago, Frank. He's trying to get his brother Jack into the NFL Hall of Fame.
I see.
That might be what he's referring to. He says, but the greatest movie of brotherly love, and it has a Wisconsin connection with a Kenosha native, Mark Ruffalo, is The Beautiful and Wonderful Brothers Bloom. We've talked about that, Frank, haven't we?
Yes, we did. We did. And we talked about the only regret in my life, which was not seeing, even though I was filming in New York City, and Tony Shalhoub, Wisconsin guy, Green Bay guy,
sure,
and Mark Ruffalo were appearing sold out in Death of a Salesman on Broadway.
Nice. Wow.
I was going to go see him in full Green Bay garb and everything.
That's Wisconsin representing right there, even and including yourself. If you would put on the Packer sweatpants,
I mean, I literally stood on Broadway and said, "Who owns you?"
I would have paid to see that. Hey, before we run out,
actually, we do. I believe they were playing at the Lunt Theater, which is named after Alfred Lunt, America's greatest stage actor.
With Wisconsin ties, correct?
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Everything we talk about here has a Wisconsin tie, let's be honest. We have a couple more minutes. Frank, tell us about Joey's song. I know we're a ways away, but let's start talking about that because I got to...
Great
please tell us.
benefit for epilepsy. Joey is the name. Mike Gamal founded Joey's song. His son is Joey. Joey died from this disease. And Mike created this wonderful charity that began with hitmaker Freddie Johnston singing in a bowling alley and passing the hat. And pretty soon Butch Vig got involved and Garbage got involved and Soul Asylum got involved in the Bangles and everybody, all kinds of bands, Portugal the Man. So many.
Wow.
Go to joeysong.org and you get the whole story. It has now expanded into a week-long concert event.
How about
with
that?
even a comedy stage, which I happily played in the backup band with Wayne White and Joel Hodgson, who are Joel Hodgson, MS3 TK, right?
Mystery Science Theater, yeah.
Yes, the man who created it, Joel and Wayne did designed the sets for Pee-wee's Playhouse and so much more. And great artists, great American. But as a duo, they're funnier than hell on stage, and we backed them up. But I work the whole week. The stages are busy. The Sylvie Center in Madison, Wisconsin is where it is centered around. So within a few blocks of that theater, you can see countless major acts. And I hear they have some really big surprises coming up this year.
I cannot wait. Let's do something before. I think last year, it's right after the holidays, and I think that's what messed me up because I missed it. But
it's in early January.
Okay. So, yeah, this year we'll have to get, I'll reach out ahead of time and we'll do something because I remember going to the website and reading about your friend, and it just looks like and it looks like a great time, a phenomenal cause, but also a great time too. So we'll definitely get on that this year.
It's a wonderful time, and it's so celebratory, and everyone there is doing what young musicians, there's a lot of them, and us older musicians should be doing, which is playing for a cause and not asking people to carry our crap around for $12,000.
Well, the thing is too, Frank, you might be an older musician, but you're not crabby, and you don't have a lawn that you can tell kids to get off of. So I think you're doing okay. Buddy, thank you so much. As always, we will talk again soon and keep putting out amazing posts. I love reading your stuff on social media. So much fun.
Well, thanks so much. I'll see you soon, I hope.
Okay, Frank. Break a leg.
Okay.
That is Frank Anderson. Check out wisconsinology.com. Great guy and a great site, especially if you're proud of your state and you want to learn more about it. Frank finds a way to tie everything in the universe to Wisconsin, and he does it brilliantly. So check that out. Conrad, I feel like, are we forgetting something?
You know, you said you were going to give a second sandwich, right? I thought about giving a second sandwich too, and I have one.
Oh, really?
A Reuben.
Oh, Reuben's great. Oh, a nice pastrami sandwich for me. What kind of similar, but yeah, that's a great one too. And I like, I got a text, my wife, I don't think she got through on the text line, but she said, Mary said, a juice burger in Oshkosh at Leon's. So those of you listening in Oshkosh, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. It's Leon's. They have great custard and phenomenal juice burgers, which is basically a sloppy Joe.
How did I not think of burger as a sandwich until right now?
Well, you know,
no,
taco?
I changed all of my answers to a great Wisconsin burger.
That's no fun. It started with peanut butter and jelly. We can tie it back to that. All right. I'd like to thank Frank Anderson and Scott Lucas and Ben Reiser for kind of being part of the show too. And thank you for all your texts and bearing with us tonight with some technical difficulties. We'll be back tomorrow night, folks, to do it all again. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
Take me to